Good afternoon, CryptoFit UK, Chris here. I hope you're well. Today's video, very different. Please don't accept any of this as financial advice. Please do not go in a bath with a toaster that is plugged into any outlet. You will have a shocking experience. Everything I tell you is for my entertainment purposes only and for my records. If you want to follow me, please hit the like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell on. But only if you're awesome. Okay, Safuu update. Let's do that. Right. Safuu update is that we're just a little bit over 22,100,000 and something odd thousand. We're gaining around about 100,000 USD a day on sacrifice, even now, and I think that is incredible. I think the protocol is going to be in a massively great standing for when we launch. Not only testnet, but everything else. I think we're going to do absolutely incredible. Today I'm not working. Today is my stepson's birthday. Dylan, happy birthday. For your birthday, not only have you got a shed load of stuff, but I'm setting up your YouTube channel, and I've already started. It's going to be called Moose Gang. I'm going to put the thing at the top. If you've got kids that love Roblox, that's the best thing for him. He loves it. For people that aren't aware, my stepson, he has special abilities. He is on the ASD spectrum, and we've also got another stepson who's on the ASD spectrum as well. And the way that he actually deals with things is, you know, his life is on Roblox, so he loves doing that, and it's my intention to support him in every which way. With that, with my partner, we are going, we've got him a really nice gaming laptop. We've got him a nice, for Christmas, he got a nice gaming setup as far as a desk goes. We've kitted out his bedroom with lights, etc, etc, and yeah, he's got a little setup for his Roblox empire. Thank you to Crypto Easy for his amazing graphics, so that we can put that on some merchandise. And I know that perhaps watching kids play video games is not your cup of tea, but if you could like and subscribe to his channel, that would be a massive thank you from me to pass along as much warmth as possible to you all. Just want to say a massive thank you to the Freedom sending me through another cup of coffee. Those do help me keep awake. If you want to support me in buying me a coffee, you don't have to, but it really does make sure that I keep these videos coming. I do these videos in the car mainly because I find it makes my journeys go a lot quicker, and I find it fun. I find doing YouTube every single day is fun, and all the time I find it fun, and all the time you guys are prepared to listen. It's fun. That's exactly what I need from people. So, and as I love you all deeply as I do, then I want to keep on doing it as well. But today, I want to talk to you about fighting. Not bad fighting, good fighting. Okay. So, those who are regularly subscribed into my channel, you all know that over the last 2.5 years, I have suffered with some really bad mental illness. Okay. I am now out of it. I am now off all medications, and I am now thinking and feeling a hell of a lot clearly. What they don't tell you when you go onto these medications is you end up with a lot of ambivalence with it. So you don't care about certain things. Like, I'll give you an example. A few weeks ago, somebody broke into my house and stole the best part of £1,000 worth of tools that we have built up over a course of a year. They helped out a couple of people. They helped out us, and I noticed that they were gone. I said to my partner, and she said, I can't find them anywhere either, Chris. I think they've been stolen. The landlord was aware that the lock on the door was dodgy, right? We had messages going back 3 months with our landlord to say we needed to get that door lock finished, and then having all of my tools stolen from my house was the final nail in the coffin, and I ended up going a little bit spare. But the ambivalence of the tablets meant that I didn't feel anything until a couple of days afterwards, and yes, okay, we've got them replaced, etc., etc., but you know, it really did screw me over. So I want to take you back a little bit further. In fact, actually, back in a previous life, if you actually search for my name or Lou Batchelor, who I did a load of videos with in the very beginning, I was a health and fitness personal trainer. I was a top qualified personal trainer, a top qualified nutritionist, and I think I was one of the top 20 in the country as far as qualifications and experience goes. I absolutely loved my health and fitness journey. I don't think I got there physically myself with how everything went, but I had all of the knowledge to go and help whoever I wanted to help, and whether it be somebody that had one less muscle in their leg, or they wanted to become a bikini model, or if they wanted to win a gold medal in a powerlifting competition, I was the person that people called, still do, although I'm not within that world. Anyway, this was 7 years ago, 2014. I became a personal trainer. I loved every single second of it. I loved it all. I loved all the long words, all of the anatomy, all of the nutrition side of things. And I did that, and I was earning a decent amount of money. I was earning £4,000 or £5,000 a month. I think £4,500 a month is where I was earning for a point. And I'm not going to give any names in here because this will be subject to some sort of legal proceeding very, very shortly. I'm just going to say business partner from now on in. But if this business partner does actually watch this, I'm coming for you, buddy. Oh, I'm coming for you. And I'm going to be as hard as I possibly can. Love you, though. So I go into business, and the gym that I was in came up for sale. And I had ideas of doing fitness retreats, and my intention was to basically make as much of a living for my kids and my family as possible. And this gym came up for sale in Folkestone, and I said, well, I'm pretty sure I can come up with the money between my family and myself. I can buy some assets, and I can make that gym a hell of a lot better. My intentions became reality on the 2nd of March 2018, where me and my business partner signed the final paperwork, of which I was the full guarantee of the gym. Names and places, obviously, I'm not going to say, because as I said, it's going to be subject to legal proceedings fairly shortly anyway. I carried on with the gym. We bought flooring, we bought new equipment, we updated everything, we painted everything, we made everything so much better than what it was, you know, and the customers loved it. The customers absolutely loved it. They loved everything we did. And they came in their hundreds. And there was no worries about money or anything else like that. We were making money, we were paying taxes, we were doing this. Got screwed over a little bit by the company that we were with. They weren't exactly honest with their financials. We paid a lot of money for this purchase of the business. We paid that out. Yeah, it was hard work. It was 16-hour days, etc., etc. My business partner, although came in with money, not a lot of money, but he came in with money. He came in with a personality and a drive that at the time was amazing for me. I needed somebody that would be there with me, go through all the paperwork. He couldn't go through paperwork. He could barely read one word at a time, unfortunately, bless him. But I loved him, and he had the drive and he had the passion to get it done. So as it went on and on and on, he decided that he wanted to start to get lazier and lazier and lazier, and I was working more and more and more, which was putting a lot of pressure on my home life. I was the one responsible for all of the assets in the gym, and all of the assets were owned and backed by property of mine and my father's. Every single asset in that gym still belongs legally to myself and my father, because we had assets to lose if the gym went under. So to this day, I still have assets within that gym that he is earning money on. He knows this. He's going to get some letters coming through over the next couple of weeks. He won't see this video unless it's exceptionally lucky. So my intention is that with those assets, I could legally put in paperwork and go and repossess my assets and sell them so that it covers the IVA that I had to go into when I got fired from my own business. Just like Steve Jobs, by the way. No hearing was conducted when I got fired from my business, and the reason was constructed of why I got fired from my business. And that was a business consultant, by the way. She's going to go under too. I am going to claim under her liability as well. Now that I am back to working and functioning properly like a human being, I have noticed that for the last 2.5 years that another gym has been using my assets. And I went on their website today. Not a lot has changed since I went in there. I was the driving force, financially the driving force, and so was my father, to make sure that that gym had absolutely everything it needed and to provide the best customer services that we possibly could. The old business partner did everything he could to make sure that he screwed it up the entire time. I was finding that I was going into work and it was actually having to put out more fires than he actually put in, right? He had no financial awareness of where we were in the gym. He got me to take out a rather large loan so that he could go and get a car, which was again on lease. And he basically said, go and get yourself another one. I was weak. I said yes. And do you know what? Although I knew about business and how to operate businesses, I wasn't strong enough to actually handle my business partner, to objectively say no to him. That's my fault, right? I fully understand that I wasn't in the right headspace to say no to him. I wasn't in the right headspace to say no to a load of people, actually. I was a people pleaser, and unfortunately, that's bitten me on the arse. So it gets a bit further down the line, my marriage breaks up. Quite rightly, you know, marriage did break up. Marriage breaks up. That happens. I get that. Right? I start losing my mental ability at this time, and about 6 months later, I almost ended my life in my father's car. And I went really dark and really cold for a very long time. October the 23rd comes around and my share is removed from me, saying that if I did not hand my share over, that legal proceedings would be taken against me. So I was not weak enough, I was not strong enough to actually handle any of that. I ended up handing over my share of my business of a £500,000 gym. This was during the COVID times as well, and I basically didn't handle a lot. I've just said the COVID word, so I'm gonna have to snip this video. Snipping this video here because I said the C word, which means that the video won't actually go online. So, right, I have a load of businesses that ended up being in debt to many banks, and my father, my ex-wife, and my old business partner and the consultant aforementioned, with no names given, fired me from my position in my company. I had no exit interview. I had a very limited time frame to discuss my unfair dismissal. I had no time actually, and I was again in a place where I was again suicidal for a large period of time. And if it wasn't for my partner, I probably wouldn't be here. And if it wasn't for my brother, I wouldn't be here. And if it wasn't for my sons as well, I went through 70 odd sessions of really hard to talk about cognitive therapy. I went through many sessions of therapy, and my medication increased. I couldn't sleep. I found it hard to eat. I was a zombie for just basically over about 14 months. I don't know how I functioned. I didn't function. And this is to the point where I'd have to be reminded to take a shower, change my clothes, wake up in the morning, have something to eat. I wasn't a human being, but my partner stayed behind me every single step of the way. The business did this to me, and the way that my relationship ended with my partner and my ex-wife at the time, okay, I made some mistakes, never cheated on her though, but I found that she was rather abusive to me, very narcissistic, and I may have been too. We probably just grew apart. The more I lived my dreams with trying to build a business up, the more we drifted apart, and that's okay. We drifted apart. We had 2 amazing kids together. We just finished the renovations on the house, and she kicked me out on the street. January 12th, a couple of years ago. Now we are divorced completely now. And again, no names are mentioned. I'm going to regret posting this one. The gym was taken over by my ex-business partner in October through to January 2020 to 2021. And he started generating an income for a business where the debts were paid by myself. So basically what's happened now is that a load of the assets that were within the gym, a lot of them are still actually in that gym, and they're all still owned by me. Unfortunately, a couple of months later, my father could not afford the monthly bills because he didn't have the knowledge or skill or anything to run the gym. So he sacrificed his house to repossession, but he basically gave the gym to my old business partner. And it still would be my intention to make things whole with him again. But that's a lot of money. But I would do it just to make things whole. If he wanted a personal relationship with me afterwards or through it, that's absolutely fine. He hasn't spoken to me in just a little bit over 2 years. So not only did my ex-business partner steal all of the customers from the previous gym, by whatever means he did, he took the data. Data protection went straight out of the window. He answered it, and I was getting messages left, right and center from old members to say, what the hell's going on, Chris? I couldn't answer the messages. I couldn't answer the messages because I was not in the right mental mindset. I was anxious. I was afraid. I was scared that somebody would come and do something to correct it. Okay, I get that. Some of those fears were unfounded because what happened is that because all the assets, all the business assets are under an IVA in the UK, that if I had died, the IVA company would come in and sell all the assets to make the payments good. So I basically said, I only knew this about 2 weeks ago. My brother, bless him, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks, and this is where it's all started. 2.5 weeks ago, my brother said to me, "Oh, my dad's having real troubles in trying to close down Level Up Fitness." I was just like, I thought it was closed down because dad's had his house repossessed and that the loans were satisfied. And he goes, "No, there was something's going on. Doodah's not doing this and Doodah's not doing that." Anyway, I dug into it. Seems like I've got the lease still, and the lease hasn't been novated to the new customer, to the new gym. The assets also haven't been novated over to the new gym either, and Dad has probably wrongfully transferred or sold some of the assets from what was his assets to the new business owner who is operating this current company, not his own. What's actually happened now is that this particular company is actually having a debt-free lifestyle, and all he's got to do is keep the lights on, pay the electricity and the water rates, the council tax, and he's got to pay the rent. Now he's found it really difficult to novate the business onto the new company because the insolvency practitioner can see that there is so much debt that is owed to myself, and that every single time that he has tried to move on with his own business, the liquidator have said, "No, it can't happen because all of this is still owned by myself." So this has been going on for 2 years. In that time, he's had 2 years worth of income under his own company. Now, I've checked on his website and I've checked on his sign-up page, which is done by Clubright, which is a company that I've had dealings with. Not that I've actually gone to Clubright and asked this for legal reasons. However, the one thing I will say is, on his website, it is clear that it is a Clubright site. And I've gone onto the Clubright and it's saying that particular company limited. So he has stripped all of the income out of one company and put all of the income out of the other, and he basically pays a certain amount to the other company to keep it open, claiming the VAT returns on it because everything is VAT heavy. So everything is nice and cushy for him. He's probably had 200 grand's worth of profit because I know the figures so well. I run it. I knew every number from back to fucking front. So he's had all of that money for the last 2.5 years, and not once has anybody phoned me to say that this is happening until my brother had just literally said something. Now, don't get me wrong, I know I've done some bad things before, but they're not things like robbing, thieving, or anything else like that. I've done some incorrect things, and I know, and I wish I am aiming to atone for those. Every single one. Everybody that I have wronged, I am coming back. I'm going to find you. I'm going to make things right. Every single one. If it takes me a couple of years to do, I will do it. But what's happened to me is basically theft. And the theft that has happened to me right now means that I have to go out of my way to earn money to make sure that I can afford the best legal advice possible, so that I can either get the facility back or liquidate the entire facility and run back debt free and then start again later on. But it's my reputation and my pride and my honor that will never be restored in all of this. Now, this particular individual, my father and my ex-wife, were all in the decision-making process of whether they wanted to expel me, and they did. So I went back to that consultancy company and asked for a data subject access request, and that request was denied because I had no legal standing within that business. However, I am the data subject. I really want to say your name. I am that data subject. So I'm coming after you for unlawful dismissal. But not only am I going after the company that I was involved in, I'm coming after the company that gave advice to my father that they would have no issues in getting rid of me, even though they knew that without me, they couldn't finance the gym because it was all scored against my property, the ex-wife's property that I'm living in. I've actually stopped repossession orders on my house from a couple of banks over the years, of which I can prove as well. None of this information is not without public knowledge. You can Google my name, you can find out this story is correct. It was in the news. It was in the news. Kent Online. Right? So, in conclusion about this, I spent 2.5 years not fighting for my rights. Now, I've woken up in the last 2 weeks, and there's thanks to be given here. Not yet, but there's thanks to be given here to a few people. You know who you are. And basically now I've got to fight for my right to have my company, my house back, and my life. My ex-wife offered me £10,000 to move on with my life and be debt-free from the money that I owed my father, her parents, etc., etc. But I think there may have been a deliberate cause in here. My opinion, I believe that between the ex-wife, my father, and my ex-business partner, there was a deliberate act to make sure that I was put so deep under for so long that I couldn't have a relationship with my sons. I couldn't have a relationship with the customers that I had before or the business I had before. In fact, I know somebody has taken it upon themselves to report me to the police sometime in August of 2020, meaning that I couldn't get any normal work. A little while later, I started applying for normal jobs to get back into work. We were on universal credit. And I put in roughly 16,000 job applications. 16,000, 16000. I applied for the NHS for a number of jobs that I was personally recommended for. And these were basic jobs. Let me tell you about one of the jobs. One of the jobs was simply taking deceased patients down into the morgue and putting them into a place, into the units where they go. It's a job that I didn't have to think, I didn't have to do anything with, I just could do it. I did not have the security clearance to do that because of the reports that were made that I have evidence of. So, in essence, if you have been unfairly done something like this, is massive for me. This is going to cost me like £10,000 to get back, and then I will have to have reparations from at least 3 parties. It's going to affect my divorce as well. But imagine this. The ex-wife can say, well, he's paid nothing towards me. He has paid no childcare, he hasn't paid my half of the mortgage, and he's left me financial destitute. Well, I know your partner's living with you. I know that not only your partner is living with you, but her 2 kids are also living with you. Yes, that's right. It's fine, you have your life, that's okay. But if you wanted to do that, why weren't you just honest with yourself? I don't know the answer to that question. May that be on your soul, not mine. What I'm saying to you all is, nice and simply, I have the fight of my life coming towards me, and I'm strong mentally, physically. I'm going to come after everybody that has done me wrong, and I know I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to fix everybody that I have apparently wronged. I'm going to do a My Name is Chris episode, and I am going to go back and I'm going to pay those people back. If I decide that I want to keep the business open until those debts are complete, I will do so. I will do so, but I will make sure that the ex-business partner, if he runs that facility, that gym, will pay me 72 pence in every pound that goes through his profit tables. So you cannot own something and not pay something back. You cannot do that. And I'm going to come back at you with the full weight of the law. And I know that you're not worried. I know that you probably won't see this video, but if you do, I'm gonna do this so successfully that you would have wished that you hadn't done what you did when you did it, sir. You don't know how much I lost. I've seen my sons less than 12 times in the last 2.5 years. Some of that is my fault because I didn't have transport. Some of that is the ex-wife's fault, but mostly it's been financial because I was left so broke so damaged that I couldn't do a goddamn thing for anything, for anybody, not even myself. People had to help me out with just basically breathing. You son of a bitch. Now it's your turn to legally face every single consequence that I physically deem necessary to weigh on people. And I'm not going to do anything illegal, and this will be my one and only video in doing this. But fight for what you believe in, and you don't ever back down. You don't even back down 1 penny. 1 apology. You do not back down. If you believe you are right and you have evidence and paperwork to put it in that place, do not ever give up. I gave up. I was not strong enough. I was mentally beaten up. You do not ever, ever, ever give up. I gave up, and now I'm back. And legally, there's nothing they can do about it. Ladies and gentlemen, keep SafuuX strong. Keep up with everything that you do. Do not let anybody limit your abilities for your financial freedom. You get shit done, I get shit done, and this is how we go. Guys, this is CryptoFit UK. If you've liked this story, which is factual, you can look it up. Company's House will be a start in the UK. I'm coming back and I'm going to get everything that I deserve, every penny, backdated from everybody. There are no threats within this. I'm just telling you, to everybody that was involved negatively to my dissension into the deep dark worlds of anxiety and depression of which I was within, I'm coming back, and I'm coming back for every penny. Please like, share and subscribe. This hasn't been a Safu related video, but I do admire every single one of you that like, share and subscribe. This has been a hugely personal video and it hasn't been easy to tell, and I'd like to see your support. If you fancy buying me a coffee, buy me a coffee. If you want to offer me some legal advice or point me in the right direction of a really good solicitor in the UK to actually get this shit done, then absolutely, I love this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is CryptoFit UK signing off, and today is Friday the 28th of October 2022. I love you all. Bye bye.